Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and admittedly I'm getting started a little late on the recording. Right, classic soundtrack. And that is for two reasons. One, I worked in the morning today instead of in the afternoon, so a little bit different time frame that I'm working with today. Secondly, a new patch for 30XX came out that I wanted to have a look at, and I guarantee I will have a lot of fun with that. I get to play as a cat in mech armor. How cool is that? And no, I'm not playing Gato Roboto. I don't even know what you're talking about. You will. So, today, I think... See, we're actually getting close to the end of this. I'm actually a little surprised. I only have 5 to go. And then I can start putting all of my attention on the tier lists. Like I said, I still have yet to finish part 3, but the voiceover and the like running back and forth and testing the arcana, that part is done. So, I suppose I just need to stop procrastinating and get to it, right? It's less about procrastination and more about just, time scales and whatnot. Everything's weird. That's really all there is to it. Everything is just weird. Alright, so today I think we're going to go with Piercing Void. Piercing Void does that. Lots and lots of distortion swords that just rain down on a nice little rectangular field around you. Which, to be fair, this gets... Oh, that's right, they fixed the plane that the spell moves on when you cast it diagonally now. Alright, and if you're thinking, wow, that looks like it does a really good job at control. Yeah, pretty much, yeah, that's what we're looking at here. Now, it's not as good at control as Mortal Coil, but it does really do a good job at just filling the screen with danger. So that having been said, Piercing Void counts as nothing. It's just a spell. Which means that you don't have... Well, on one hand, you don't have to worry about building around, spell-type synergies. Additionally, though, it also means it doesn't get those spell-type synergies, which is a little bit of a shame. So, it works on ease of build making, but also doesn't allow for some of the like Dark Katana or like Glove of Gambit strategies, which again, kind of sad. So this doesn't have a ton of knockback to it, which means that the best thing to pair it with would be something that would allow me to sweep in for higher damage. Either melee or projectile, doesn't really matter. So, what we choose to build this around should in theory just be something that helps its, like, no matter what it is you're using. And for my money, because this just really juggles enemies around and makes it difficult for them to get anything done, I think Furious Tempest is our best bet, because we can just combo those two directly together. Which means, again, we should be working with a more balanced build here. I think for our basic... what should we go with? Probably Fiery Yo-Yo. That makes the most sense. Well, it's either that or Bolt Rail, and I just haven't used Fiery Yo-Yo in a while. But, if I'm being honest, I think we would combo off better with Bolt Rail, so I'm going to go with that. And I think here we're going to go Razor Burst. So, little heavy on wind, but I think that's perfectly fine. Then I will just go with that to boost our critical hit chances, and I think we're good. So now we just need the retro floor plan as per usual, and we can get started. I do hope you've all had a lovely day. Can't really say that I've had a very exciting day. Most of it was, of course, spent at work. Which, it was, it was an average day. Little boring, little slow. What do you expect? I don't really think that there is a specific place we want to go. But of course, now I've locked myself into Atlas Stage 3, so we are going to have trouble. Fortunately, Iris is looking to be friendly and cooperative this time around. And the only reason why I didn't take... The only reason why I didn't take the Furious Tempest upgrade right away is mostly because I want to make sure that I don't need to donate. If I do, then I just want to make sure that I've got something to do that with. After all, no need to spend extra money when I don't have to. Why would you give me early game Adorable Mimic? This is not what I want! You're supposed to offer me that later after I've had a chance to pile up on junk. Alright, well, enough complaining. Let's actually talk about Piercing Void. So obviously what we're doing is we're just creating just a giant field of hitboxes to meddle with our enemies with. That's beautiful. And it just keeps enemies stunned and just gives you plenty of time to put on pressure with something else. Like in this case, I figure if I can keep my enemies on a good amount of hit stun, I can bring in something that works off of the charge mechanic. Though I realize I've been choosing Furious Tempest for that a little too frequently. Maybe I should start choosing Violent Thornstorm. After all, I do get a kick out of throwing a spinning cactus at people. Now, one of the obvious things I like about Piercing Void is that it covers a nice, large area. The other thing I like about it is that it does set off the nitroglycerin barrels, so you have the ability to clear those from safety. I also like that the hitboxes on that are very consistent. So you're not going to necessarily be worried about whether or not enemies are going to be chasing you down. But it does... What was it? Pardon me. And no, that's not nice. See, unless they essentially get knocked out of the like field of swords, that's really the only time you need to worry about whether or not the enemies are going to like get knocked out of it and chase you around or not. Okay. We've got... So we're not going to get a big, strong, adorable Mimic, but we are going to get something nice. Especially since we are kind of focusing more on the critical hit side of things, I think that will work out quite nicely for us. We don't need huge damage bonuses for critical hit to work out. Yeah, I don't really want that. I will give you the token. Thank you, sir. Just makes most of our stats just a little bit better. Alright, so... see, one downside the spell does have is that 6-second cooldown, which can feel like an eternity when you're being chased down. But I will also point out that, really, the pigeon was moving the nitroglycerin barrel? I mean, thank you for moving it further away from me, but I wasn't even aware the pigeons could do that. But yeah, as I was saying about the spell's cooldown, 6 seconds isn't the super long cooldown, but it is definitely longer than one would like for something that's supposed to be used for control. But it does control for a good long time, so I can't really complain too hard. An unbirthday present! And there's Violent Thornstorm! I don't even know how I feel about the rest of those. Not very strongly. Admittedly, Violent Thornstorm isn't going to work great outside of this area. But yes, we should look for other spells, because I don't want everything being a charge spell. That's just ridiculous. I don't know how I feel about either of those spells. You definitely take that. Nope. None of the rest of this is really that... You know what? I am going to take this because I know where I'm heading at the very end of the run. I would just like to say no to poison. Now, fortunately for me, we have a build that can actually make use of multiple charge spells. But like I said, it's not exactly ideal. But since I've come this far with it, I might as well keep rolling with it. Yay! Okay, actually, that worked out pretty well. But with Piercing Void as our control method, we cover plenty of ground, and with that being the case, that also means that even though I'm not the biggest fan of trying to make multiple charge spells work, this is probably the right time to try it. And we can upgrade our dash, finally. So one thing I will say about Piercing Void is that because of how the hitboxes work, it is possible for you to get struck if you stand at the very edge of it. So what you typically want to do is use it from a distance so that you can have time to do whatever it is you're going to do. I also like the idea that even though it is more of a control spell than a damage spell, it still does good damage. Like, you're not sacrificing that much to have a large area of effect control spell. I see 2 things here I want. 3 things, actually. I don't know if I can afford all of them, but here we go. I'll be able to afford the Equester cap after. I keep calling it the horse head, but it is supposed to be a cap and not a severed equine head. I should be a little bit more respectful to our equine friends. So, go over here, and hope that the boss room is this direction. It is not. Thank you, fairy. I always appreciate having a fairy with me. And you can see that the area of effect of this spell is doing good work. Like, this spell is getting shit done, and I can appreciate that. Ow. Alright, so far so good. Anything good here? You know, I have a lot of projectiles, I might as well... Oh, I'll grab the Gloves of Gambit when I have the money for it, how about that? Yeah, I do really like Piercing Void just because it does so many hits and generates just a ton of hit stun. I don't need anything from Iris right now. Thank you for upgrading my spells so quickly, though. You have no idea how much I appreciate actually having upgraded spells at this point in the game. Okay, probably not going to get any use out. You know what? I am. Never mind. Last second with the signature. This is going to be another combat room. And in case you're wondering why the combat room didn't trigger right away, there's... Well, first of all, we're taking this. Perfect Time Crystal is definitely better than any of the other options there. Now we'll grab this. And you know what? We'll grab the spice rack too. Owie. Alright, you know what? That still worked out, even if it did get to be a little bit of a jumbled mess at the end. I like the idea of frozen bait, but I already have a control method, so I think I'm good. Okay. Too much random crap going on here. Okay, I swear I had time to dash away from their attacks, but... You know, what do I know? Oops. Now, needless to say, as enemies are starting to move faster, I'm getting a little bit less time out of piercing void to set things up, so this is the point in which I say, remember, play smart. Don't do things that are going to get you in trouble. Oh, hello. So many combo items. I also feel like I'm moving with a very unreal speed right now. Like, I'm reaching my top speed very, very quickly. And even then, I have enhanced top speed as well. And I still have... Yes, I do. Thank goodness. Oh, hello, Doctor. Alright, so let's hurry up and find the boss room, which should be over here. Let's donate Flame Fusion to the good doctor. I think she deserves the good stuff. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. Nope, I don't need anything else from here. Let's just move on. And of course, we are now seeing the benefit of having a spell that just sits in place for a really long time, which is that you can just let it sit there and do the work for you while you build up other things. Like, that's the reason why I said this like all charge attack build will probably work with this run. And so far, it's been doing me very good. Oh yeah. Don't be like me, play smarter. Oh, that was dumb. Didn't even need to. My signature was good enough without all that. Okay, so... I think I know what I want to do, but first we gotta get to the end of the level. Okay, rogues are pissing me off. But fortunately, I have probably the best defensive relic in the game, so am I worried? Not a chance. Alright, so let's go ahead and drop these now. Come back, grab this. I don't think I want to change up anything else. I'm liking what I have at the moment. Stick with it. There we go. That's looking good. Another really positive aspect of this spell is that it doesn't take a long time to set up. So you are pretty much free to dash out of it the moment you cast it. So I mean, yeah, it's not technically dash cancelable, but that hardly matters when you can just set it and forget it and just run the hell away. This is one of those times where the spell not being able to be dash canceled doesn't make as much of a difference as you'd think. It's generally more of a sticking point on those longer lasting kind of like melee or like hold spells. Aw, man. The poison spikes were not supposed to do that. But that's exactly what they're supposed to do. That's what they're designed to do. Yeah, but I didn't want them to do that. He just ran right the hell away from me. There we go. Alright. Once again, the big trouble there, no flash agents. Gee, it's almost like having something else on the field with you that can draw your enemy's attention away from you really, really helps. Imagine that. But that is Piercing Void, and in a nutshell, Piercing Void, pretty good. I don't think I like it more than Mark of Discord, but it's one of those spells that I've been using since I first got it, like years ago when the game first came out. So it kind of has a soft spot for me. It's not exactly a statistical favorite, but it is a personal favorite, and I do like using it. The biggest selling point on it being, of course, how long it just sits on the field, just riddling enemies with damage and hit stun so you can set up bigger things. Like I said, I would not normally run with 3 charge spells, but this is definitely the right environment to do it in. So, you know, if you've ever had the dream of running Furious Tempest, Aqua Breaker, and Chaotic Buster all on the same run, well, Piercing Void is what lets you do that safely. And even still, you probably saw that I was still getting beat up, so don't expect it to be a walk in the park, but it does make it possible. So, there you go. And that is all there is to that. So thank you guys very much for tuning in and spending some of your free time here with me today. I very much appreciate it. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you take care, everybody.